podcast from the coast.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
This 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
Welcome everybody to episode 45 of They Cast from the Coast.
45.
Yes, my name is Adam Miles, and I have with me as always Tim. Sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot, Johnson.
Sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot. What?
Yes. Oh, really? You're gonna play? Dave, did you not watch the movie for tonight?
Yeah.
That was one of the first things that Sam Neill says when they're dragging his ass out at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
So there you go. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Adam?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know, can't complain. That's what it is. I see something's different with you.
Yeah. I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, you like baseball. Okay. All right. Moving on, I guess. Oh, okay, that's all good. It's all good. I see you've been working on some more, videos and editing for pictures, getting some more of the Halcon stuff out of the way. Done some pretty good ones this week, buddy. So that's what you've been doing, keeping yourself busy?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to really stick to a schedule. Mm-hmm. I ended up getting this chalkboard calendar. Yeah. So I got it right up there. I'm not going to tilt my camera, but I literally have to have it broken down into today is for photography. This day is for editing video. This day is for editing art. Because if not, I would just kind of float aimlessly. What do I feel like doing? But this way, if I stay on a schedule, stuff will actually get done. So,
cool. Excellent.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, guys, I forgot that we were supposed to record tonight. Thank God, because I'm sitting there and I'm getting supper, right? A delicious roast with fucking mashed potato. It was great, but I'm just about to eat, and then hey guys, I'm jumping on now, and I'm like,
yeah, what the fuck, Adam?
Thank God I watched the movie last night. But it's John Carpenter. I've seen this movie a bunch of times, so even if I didn't watch it last night, I can wing it.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. I got a fairly fresh perspective on this movie tonight because I have not seen it pretty much since it first came out. Me and David rented it when it first came out, watched it because we were younger at the time, and I have not seen it since. This is one of those ones that kind of fell by the wayside for me. So,
but you want to know what though? With not getting too much into it, I think watching it last night, I have a new appreciation and a new understanding of this movie that I kind of missed before. It's almost like I compare it to when I watched Candyman, right? Okay. Watching it through almost
adult
experience eyes. Adult eyes, right? And with Candyman, it didn't scare me as an adult, right?
No.
This didn't scare me either, but it's another one of those movies that added to John Carpenter as, in my eyes, a fucking genius, right? So
absolutely.
I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I really did. And definitely, it's going to be a good conversation tonight because it was a lot of fun.
But I digress. I watched a bunch of other movies this week. Me and the kid, Anthony's been on a Quentin Tarantino kick.
Oh,
right,
nice.
And I'm a huge Tarantino fan, and I've never really pushed watching these movies with him, but I think last year he watched The Hateful Eight, and he's like, this movie was amazing. And I was like, oh, well, if you like that, then maybe you'll like Django. We watched Django. This movie's amazing. So then he recently asked me, he goes, we should watch Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I said, absolutely. So we watched both of those. And then the other day we watched Reservoir Dogs. Now that was the make or break, like, because it's a sound Tarantino film, but not necessarily his best one in my opinion.
No.
And he loved it. He immediately got it. He's like, this is a heist movie that doesn't show the heist. I love it. Right?
Yeah.
Then we watched Pulp Fiction, and the kid's like, Tarantino's like my favorite director. Like, he's my favorite. Right? So I think what we'll watch now, because Tarantino kind of went in stages, so the end of his kind of old stage would have been Four Rooms, which the anthology. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yep.
I feel like that was kind of the end of like the Pulp Fiction Reservoir Dogs era, where he had that certain style of filming.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end it with that, because I think Four Rooms is hilarious.
Four Rooms is
Tim
good.
Roth is. But anyways, very long-winded tonight. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good, man. It's good. Now we know more about Tim's week. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. That's good. That's what we want.
But aside from watching those movies and watching the movies tonight, another group of movies that the kid wants to watch, he's really into Westerns right now. So we watched Unforgiven last night.
Nice.
Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven. Love that.
Yeah, but you want to know what? Again, watching it with adult eyes, I would have liked if he would have kind of snapped, like Morgan Freeman. Spoilers, Morgan Freeman would have died maybe halfway through the movie. Mm-hmm. So the first half is him trying to run away from his past, and then the second half is him getting drunk off whiskey, killing everybody. That's what I would have liked. Like because it was short. It was literally like the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie where he goes into the bar and kills everybody drinking and shit. It was awesome. Yeah. But the next one that he wants to watch is Tombstone.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one, too. I like that one.
It's Kurt fucking Russell, of course.
Well, exactly. It's Kurt fucking Russell.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, but speaking of which, did Anthony watch Death Proof?
No, we did.
That's going to be in the later.
Okay. I love Death Proof. See, Death Proof.
Awesome. Right? I love Death Proof.
I did too, because it was so.
It's so out there. Like it's just
so out there, and it's just like a fucking like movie from the 70s. Like it's just like it.
And Kurt
like
Russell.
Even at the end when they all jump and it's like freeze frame.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I love it.
We're gonna do one of those for our show, aren't we? We're gonna do one of those jump freeze frame things.
Yes.
Yeah, if we're ever in the same room together at the same time, absolutely. We'll film. It'd be great. But so we watched all those movies. I've been watching shows. I've been secretly working on new Dead Girl Superstar stuff for T-shirt posters and all that kind of shit. But on top of all that, I'm fucking doing photography full time, full going. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm doing a lot of photography. I did an Iron Man picture yesterday. Did you guys see that?
That's awesome, Ben.
Saw that. Loved it. Yeah.
So I'm really happy with it. I love the pose. I love the color. Kind of, I love everything. So Ben O'Leary, the guy who was in the Iron Man suit, he fabricated it all out of foam, decides to put it on fucking Reddit.
Yep.
Right? He puts it on the Marvel Reddit, which I thought was, okay, cool. I don't fuck with Reddit because I don't like Reddit. I don't. I think people are fucking retarded. If you watch this and you're on Reddit and you post retarded things, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't appreciate it. I just don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Sounds fun.
So he posts it, and it's getting good, whatever. I think for most of the day, it was the number one upvoted thing on Reddit. So I'm like, this is awesome. So I go on, and I just go to see some of the comments. And people are fucking they're dumb. They're dumb. Dumb people. I hate dumb people on the internet. I love the internet. I love the people of the internet. But, like, it's just, I don't know, Reddit brings something out in people because, like, they were going on saying all this dumb stuff. They don't understand about perspective. because they're like, oh, his legs are too small and his feet look weird. What are you talking about? I didn't say that I edited the picture or took the picture or any of that kind of stuff. So this guy goes, it looks like Peter Dinklage in an Iron Man suit. And I'm like, you're an idiot. So I was like, so you don't understand perspective, so let me explain it to you. So I literally went on and like Googled like the definition of perspective, like as it pertains to photography stuff, copy pasted that. And then I was like, yeah, it also adds like blah blah blah. And he's like, this is a bad example of perspective or something. And I'm like, what do people not understand, that things that are further away from the camera are smaller? So, anyways, I ended up getting really pissed off, and I just deleted my comments, and I'm just like, whatever. I can't win. Because, like, my comments were like, my comments were getting downvoted because people were, like, acting like I was mansplaining. When I wasn't. I was literally like, I'm defending this picture that I fucking spent 18, 19 hours fucking editing.
People, man. I hate Reddit. I tried to use it for like a month and no.
Like, you can get some interesting insight into stuff, and like, I love some of the like articles and stuff like that, and like, I go on there sometimes for like, fan theories for movies and all this kind of shit, but like posting my work, I did it a couple times and it just, no, it's not even worth it. So.
No. Well, that sucks. But good pictures, Tim.
Thank you.
Very good pictures.
Stuff. So, I do gotta say, though, we are joined tonight by Dave!
Yeah!
That was a really good build-up. Like, I was like, do we have another guest?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, we do!
What?
It's Dave! Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very well.
Yeah.
Excited about tonight.
Oh, good.
Love this movie.
How's your week been?
Love it.
Yeah, how's your week?
Week's been good. Yeah, I've been watching some movies, watched some new stuff.
What movies? What movies were you watching?
Well, aside from tonight's movie, also brushed up on some more Carpenter stuff. Watched Prince of Darkness. Haven't watched that literally since it came out in like, what was it, 87 or something like that, 88. Yeah. Revisited that. It's good. It'll be a good discussion at a later time.
Possibly next episode.
I didn't want to say anything, but watched a couple new movies. Watched the new Jigsaw movie. I know. It wasn't bad. Wasn't great. But it wasn't bad either.
I haven't seen it. I don't know. So.
You know what, Adam? Okay, if you're a fan of Saw, yes, watch it, but don't go under the like assumption that you're gonna like learn anything new. You know what I mean?
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, no. Adam and I had a discussion before the episode, and I said to Adam, "What?" Adam said, I heard it was kind of like
Can you do it in the Adam voice?
Oh, what's the
like?
Adam voice?
Can you go like back? Like, because I want to feel like I was there. Because like, I'm sorry I wasn't on. I wish I would have. Right?
Well,
but
Dave, I heard it's like kicking off a new trilogy or something. I mean, that's what I heard.
And then here's David's response. Well, maybe. You could also consider that it was just like an ending. All right.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
That's all good. Anyway, I told him it's all how you interpret it. You could either classify it as more of an official ending to the Saw franchise, or it could be looked at as a new beginning.
I took it as both. I took it as a soft reboot.
Yep.
Of Saw, and that's why they called it Jigsaw as opposed to Saw. Yeah. But right, it was, I guess, like it felt like it was like moving on from the older stuff.
Yeah. If they never make another one, you could look at this one as, okay, it's finished now. The story's complete. That missing piece has been told. But they could...
It's a puzzle.
the missing piece to the puzzle. But they could use it as a, as a new launching pad, a new franchise or new trilogy or whatever they want to do very easily.
Yeah.
So,
Very much so, yeah.
anyway, it wasn't bad. The other one that I watched, I told Adam about, was The Snowman, which is not really horror. I mean, it has horror aspects, certainly, because it deals with a serial killer, but it's more of a thriller. And I told Adam, I said, if I were to compare it, I would probably compare it as a mixture of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo mixed with Dario Argento's Trauma.
Lost me. No, I'm kidding.
Argento, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
Hack! That's what Tim says. We love you, Dario.
It's good. It's a serial killer detective trying to find the serial killer. Serial killers taunting him, leaving clues.
Is it new or old?
It's new. It's got Michael Fassbender in it.
Just coming out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of it.
It's worth watching. Yeah, The Snowman.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth a watch. I enjoyed it. I can see it's not a movie for everybody. I mean, it's slow paced. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Okay. So that's what I've watched. And then, of course, we go nonstop with rehearsals for the play. So we've doubled up and we've got we're doing 2 rehearsals a week now. So it's occupying a lot of my time, but it's awesome. And I can't wait to see this thing on stage in March. It's going to be amazing.
Nice.
Really, really good. So, yeah. So that's my week.
Good. Well, that's excellent. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys, because this is the second episode in our official January's themed month. John Carpenter's
January.
Excellent. In honor of John Carpenter himself. So people will also notice that there's been a bit of change to what we've been doing on social media. So a little bit of an update for everybody out there. The Misunderstood Art Company itself now has a main presence on Facebook. So let's just kind of shoot this out there for everybody. We've amalgamated Dead Girl Superstar, Art Misunderstood, Geek Speak, which was being turned into Geek and Destroy, and They Cast from the Coast and everything else involved with that. And we've put him under the entire branch and branding of Misunderstood Art Company on Facebook. So check us out. We are currently getting ready to do a push to 1,000. So like every major social media group or group that uses social media, we want to hit those milestones. So we're going to reach the 4 digits, and we're going to go from there. Same with our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel itself, everybody, we're going to do that push. We're going to try to get ourselves up to 1,000 subscribers or more, and just keep it rolling. Viewership is up, but doesn't necessarily mean that subscriptions are up. So we're getting a lot of good traction. A lot of people are happy with what we're doing. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're hitting the subscribe button. So take the time, share it and like it and push it and get people to subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, and everybody else that you enjoy They Cast from the Coast and the offerings from Misunderstood Art Company. So,
well said.
Thank
well
you.
Said.
Thank you.
Listen to radio.
Was that like? Did you rehearse that?
I did not. That comes from the heart, Tim.
Yeah, but normally you're like, oh fuck it, I got to do it again. Oh fuck it! I got to do it again.
That's the magic of editing.
That was really well said, and it was heartfelt. Yeah, it's really exciting that we have one focal spot for all our stuff. So we don't have to, because I mean, when I first started doing this whole Misunderstood Art Company thing, like it was 1 page for this, 1 page for this, 1 page for this, and trying to ask multiple people multiple times to like every single page that I happened to have been putting out was just stupid.
Yeah.
So like the idea of having one kind of central hub. And we can all post our stuff on there. It's like anything that we're doing, right? So yeah, I think it's good.
The only thing that'll add on top of that, though, is that we did keep one page separate. It is a discussion group. So we've got our main page for social media, but we do have the They Cast from the Coast, Well, I'm going to get to that in a second. They Cast from the Coast, the discussion group, the companion group for this show. So there we post a little bit more about the episodes. We answer questions. We talk to people. And in general, we have decided to try to make it a hub for horror information. So any of our listeners and our fans and our friends and anybody who's joined into that, that's where we toss out the latest news and trailers. And we have discussions with people. So that's where we do the very majority of our actual social media interaction is through that page. So there is one step further to that, though. We have also created another group, a super secretive group.
Super secret?
Super. What the hell, Adam?
Super secret.
Drink a little more.
See what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Oh shit! Well, let's do it again.
Let's do it again. No, I'm not cutting.
Fucked up.
Keep rolling.
No, it's Adam. I meant to do that. I copyrighted that.
We created another super secret group called the They Cast from the Coast, or the Misunderstood Art Company Green Room. And the whole idea behind that is that whenever we are putting out new product, new video and media and everything else, we actually kind of give our patrons who have subscribed to us on Patreon and some of our admin people access to see it and to enjoy.
Some of our admin?
Us.
Oh, we've also got Andrew.
We're allowed to go in our own company's green room. That's awesome.
We got Andrew.
Adam finally gave me the
bud.
password.
I finally added David the other night. He was screaming at me the whole time.
Guys, let me in!
Gives us the ability to talk to people who have basically pledged to us that they are true fans in that way, that we give them early access to stuff. We have chats and conversations, and we ask for people's opinions about the show. And we've even
like
involved
ideas for future episodes, and like
exactly.
Look what happened when Dave went away on vacation.
Yeah,
we didn't want to take 2 weeks off. Right,
Yeah.
And so we got one of our patrons to fill in, and it worked out good. But I mean, that's cool. Like, I would have loved to be a fan of a page and be a Patreon, right? Or be a Patreon. I am Patreon. To be a donor on someone's Patreon page and then have them go, hey, do you want to be on the show to fill in? You know what I mean? That's been awesome.
That is great. So little perks like that we toss in.
That is great.
That is great.
Anyways,
that's exactly Tim.
That's cool. Moving on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss the movie of the day, In the Mouth of Madness. Continuing on with John Carpenter's January.
January.
See you in a minute.
Hi everybody, this is Vincent DeSanti, the writer and director of Friday the 13th fan film Never Hike Alone, and you are listening to the great commentary of They Cast from the Coast. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check out Never Hike Alone, which is streaming for free on YouTube right now.
You're absolutely mad.
The riots began because the stores could not meet the demands of Sutter Kane's novel, In the Mouth of Madness.
Kane disappeared 2 months ago without a trace.
You're the guy that writes horror books.
You can forget about Stephen King. Kane outsells them all.
I need to know if he's alive or dead, and I need that book.
It's a setup. I just have to work out how it's set up.
Kane's writing has been known to have an effect on his readers.
See this? It's a map.
This whole thing has been staged.
You just get out.
This is not reality.
It's all happening for real, Trent.
Hope so. The movie comes out next month.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue this discussion tonight in honor of Mr. John Carpenter himself and his birth month. I'm so honored. I share the same birth month as this guy. I love it. You know.
Get over it, Adam.
Get over it, Adam. So, the movie of the night, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about a very underrated John Carpenter film. And I'm not just talking about underrated. I'm talking about the fact that a lot of horror fans actually don't know that John Carpenter has anything to do with this movie, and that's kind of weird. They might
even though it's called
John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. But it's just often enough, I've heard people say In the Mouth of Madness, and they have no clue that John Carpenter actually directed the damn movie. So it's kind of funny that way. But John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness from 1994 is absolutely his love story to the Lovecraftian worlds and everything else. So let's get into talking about this. In the Mouth of Madness, 1994, starring Sam Neill, obviously directed by John Carpenter, written by a Michael DeLuca. So the whole idea behind this movie is that Sam Neill's character is in fact a insurance fraud investigator and specialist. He's the guy that when a company is an insurance company is ready to lose millions on a potential scam towards them for insurance, he's the guy that's brought in to smell the bullshit and to figure out what the actual scam is and to release it. In this world, we have a horror writer who has bested Stephen King in terms of sales and popularity. A horror writer, okay, that is so good at what he does that the writings that he produces actually infect the brains of his viewers and readers. Yeah. A horror author by the name of Sutter Kane, okay? The reason he's brought in is because the publishing company who's released all of Sutter Kane's stuff, but is getting ready to actually release his newest book entitled, quote everybody, In the Mouth of Madness, by the way.
That's the name of the movie.
That's the name of the movie. Whoa. They did that. Oh, mind.
Great reaction, Dave. Great reaction.
They're getting ready to release his latest. However, they don't have the final manuscript for proper review and ready to the printers, and Sutter Kane himself has gone missing. So they have delayed the release. People are rioting in bookstores, and they're being held accountable for all of this, and they are losing millions in terms of what's going on. They are losing a lot of money for what they've invested into. So they call in Sam Neill. Sam Neill basically smells bullshit right off the gate and assumes that it's some sort of a publicity stunt to once again rise, as if they, the way that they build this character and his sales and his readership up, I don't know if they could really explain it, in my opinion, how they could raise the or elevate the excitedness for this any more than it already is. But he assumes that it's going to be some sort of a stunt to basically, once again, get people, salivating over his newest book. As he gets involved with this, he finds that Sutter Kane potentially is hidden in this location and we'll get into the discussion about the story of the plot here in a couple of minutes a little bit further. And he has tagged along with him an editor from the publishing company by the name of Linda Stiles, who basically goes to prove that they had nothing to do with Sutter Kane disappearing. But he thinks that he knows where he can find them. So that's good enough right there, because we want to talk about the story a little bit further as we get into this here itself. So story and plot. First off, I'll start off and I'll take this one just to start with. It is crazy. So this movie is one of these absolute early to mid 90 mind fucks, period. It is one of these stories that they try to throw every kind of a twist at you, but John Carpenter himself did it in a very amazing way. And Michael DeLuca obviously gives him credit for, where it isn't like everything keeps twisting. It's that when the twists happen, it's in your face and you don't believe it. It's the weirdest thing with this writing, but it just, you keep going further down the rabbit hole. So the whole idea here is that Sutter is in a fictional town from his own writing by the name of Hobbs End, and this is where he's holed up. Sam Neill and Linda Stiles arrive at this town, and they start to find that the town is... It isn't that the writing is based on the town, it's that the town seems to exist from the writing, if you can kind of get behind that. Characters from the book are appearing, and they're talking to these people, and they're interacting. Businesses, locations, the bed and breakfast where they go. It's all, even the cathedral, the Black Cathedral, is all part of the writing, which has suddenly kind of spawned and come to life. This town doesn't exist on any map. It doesn't exist anywhere except for the fact that they somehow happened upon it after a really weird acid trip of a drive. It was just really screwed up. I like the story and the plot behind this because of two things. One, it is a very thriller-based. It's got a lot of horror elements. It really does. But it is, first and foremost, like a thriller more than anything. And then two, it's Lovecraftian in all of its feel and look and everything else, right down from when actual creatures and monsters start appearing. They're tentacled and slimy, and there's all the mentions of the elder gods being born back into this world, and that humans are going to be a thing of the past. And I absolutely love it, because back in the 90s is the times when we would get things like you'd get Dagon was released, or you'd get the actual H.P. Lovecraft anthology type movie Necronomicon, which was actually very underrated. I like that too. This has a lot of the same feel about it. It's tragic, it's dramatic, it's a thriller, and it's got horror elements to it. So I'm going to throw it back around the table here. Let's go over to Dave. Dave, story and plot.
Well, the first time I watched In the Mouth of Madness, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a little confusing. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes back to Adam saying, you know, what a bit of a mind fuck this movie is. And it really is. After repeated viewings, I mean, I watched it a few years ago and then, you know, watched it again this past week. Certainly it makes more sense over repeated viewings, but really this is John Carpenter's love letter to Lovecraft. Everything from the play on the words from Sutter Kane's novels to, you know, the actual title of the movie, In the Mouth of Madness, which is also simultaneously the title of Sutter Kane's upcoming novel, which has gone missing. It's a play on Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. So everything about this movie is a love letter to Lovecraft. As far as the plot goes, it's an interesting plot, but again, we've talked about this before with John Carpenter. It's a simple plot that's, you know, wrapped up in a very complex shell. So the simplicity of it is this insurance investigator is investigating the disappearance of a missing writer. It's as simple as that. Where it becomes complicated is, where's he gone? For what reason? And it's the journey. I mean, it's watching things unfold where this, you know, Sam Neill's character starts piecing together. You know, he finds, you know, all these different shapes on the cover of each Sutter Kane novel, which he cuts out and then joins together and finds it's actually a map of New England. Yeah. Which, again, plays into Lovecraft, written about, you know, different various locations in New England. And then he finds that this location is actually the location of Hobbs End, which, you know, is based on the Hobbs End horror, one of Sutter Kane's novels. Mm-hmm. Wow, can this place be a real place? And it, you know, when they arrive in town, obviously it's nightmarish. I mean, all these characters that were written about in these novels are there in flesh and blood. And the places, the locations, the characters. So we as the audience are watching it going, ultimately, what the hell is going on here? Is this a real place? I mean, was he writing about stuff that was actually going on? Or so, again, I mean, it adds to the mystery of it, and then with the plot itself, I mean, again, it's complicated, but after repeated viewings, it starts making a little bit more sense. And I think that's the beauty of Lovecraft and it's portrayed very well in this movie, is that it's madness.
Yeah.
I mean, in the word itself, right, in the mouth of madness, everything about it is, the character himself going crazy because of what's going on. What's real and what isn't.
Yep.
Is ultimately what it boils down to.
And you kind of feel like you're going mad yourself trying to figure it out in some cases.
Exactly. And it's done very well. It's handled very well. Not saying you can get to that point on the first viewing. I think this movie requires several viewings in order to appreciate what is going on.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Tim, what do you think of the plot?
This movie is like, it's like a treat, because it's a John Carpenter movie that is not as well known or as celebrated as, say, The Thing or They Live or any other Halloween. Like, John Carpenter's known for other movies besides this film. But what a lot of people need to watch it for, especially with the plot, is that it's very witty, it's intelligent, and it has an element of being scary. I mean, the basic plot premise is like nothing, but it's not basic at all, And the thing that I like is that it's blurring the line between reality and fantasy, where it's almost like indistinguishable, right?
Yeah.
And this happens through most of the film. What's going on with the plot? I don't know. Do you know? You guys don't know. I don't even think John Carpenter knows, to tell you the truth. But what we get is like this guessing game of like what's real, what's unreal, and in a very stylish, like sophisticated, and like you guys keep throwing out, very Lovecraftian, like movie. And I think that people need to watch this film. Like I sat down and like when it was done, I was smiling because I was like, man, like I feel like I found a new John Carpenter movie. Like I've watched this before, I've seen it before, but like I was saying, like watching this film with adult eyes.
Yeah.
Like I appreciated the fuck out of this. Like it's great.
Good. Even from the opening scene where it shows the novels being printed. And it's playing that John Carpenter score.
Absolute score, yes.
Yeah. I found myself, I'm smiling and I'm like...
Yeah! Like, it's like... It feels like... And I think that what made this movie experience even better was the fact that, again, like I said, it's not one of his more celebrated films. It's not one of his, like, well-known films, right? And, I mean, I think it was Adam that said, a lot of people don't even know John Carpenter did it.
Yeah.
But then when you sit down, you're like, oh my God, this is so John Carpenter.
Yeah, from the moment that the music starts, it's like John Carpenter. And then it comes up saying John Carpenter's in the Mouth of Madness. So, excellent. So, characters. So, let's move on to characters here for a second. So, Sam Neill plays the main character in this. So, I like Sam Neill a lot. And in my opinion, in the 90s, that man was top shit. He was top of his game. You've got stuff like Jurassic Park where he kicked ass off. Who doesn't like Jurassic Park? And one of my favorite horror movies from the 90s.
I honestly had a feeling that Dave was going to say he didn't like Jurassic Park. I don't know why. It just felt like it was set up that way.
Overrated and the dinosaurs were fake. Love it. So, but Sam Neill was also in one of my favorite horror movies from the 90s, Event Horizon. So anything with Sam Neill in it from the 90s, I watched the shit out of it. And this is one movie that I really wish that I would have more time to watch more often, kind of fit it in there, right? But so Sam Neill's character is fantastic. It's well played. I enjoy Sam Neill in anything. The lady character that's with him, Styles.
Julie Carmen.
Yeah, Julie Carmen. So she's interesting. She does Fright Night 2. But you know what the problem that I have, though, is that she was, in actuality, in my opinion, she wasn't the greatest for, like, a lead actress in the movie.
She was fucking garbage.
She wasn't that great.
No.
She was probably the worst of the characters in the movie, because as much as all the other characters were not really displayed all the time or weren't really pertinent to certain things, the amount of time that was on the screen, they were awesome, in my opinion. Like the bed and breakfast owner, the old woman. Was it? She played Ray Finkel's mom in Ace Ventura.
Yeah, right? Frances Bay.
Frances Bay, that's right.
Yeah, she's adorable. She was Happy Gilmore's mom.
Happy Gilmore's grandmother
right.
too, right?
Yeah.
But in this, she's like the little sweet lady. Even Sam Neill's like, she's supposed to be the one that like hacked her husband up with an axe. Look at her, like she's adorable. You know what I mean? Like, and then you just find out that she's just this absolute psychotic bitch, and it's fantastic. I love it. But like those characters, and without seeing much of them, were almost better portrayed and better written.
Yeah,
Styles' character entirely.
Yeah.
But we only really have a couple of characters like that to talk about, because even Sutter Kane, even though he's like
Jurgen Punchnecker now. I don't know how to say his name. It's like German or something.
But I wanted more Sutter Kane.
Yes. I love that guy's acting anyway.
I love his acting, and the character was fantastic as this. He was just nonchalant, like this is just the way that it is. Like there's nothing you can do about what's happening. I can deal with it. And he was just like, this is my world. And he was wonderfully portrayed. So Sam Neill and Jurgen, the guy who did Sutter Kane, fantastic in my opinion.
I always like John Glover. He's such an asshole in every single film that he plays. You know what I mean? Like, fucking in Gremlins 2 and fucking Scrooge, Payback, even Batman and Robin. Like this guy is in like, oh my
God, I Batman and Robin. Oh my God,
yeah.
Forgot about that.
Charlton Heston was in this movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He was the head of the publishing company, Arcane Publishing.
Yeah.
And,
brought him
I completely forgot that he was in it, and I'm like, holy fuck, Charlton Heston in a John Carpenter movie? What's this?
Charlton Heston is awesome, but you know what? Ever since I watched Wayne's World back in the 90s, I can't watch a fucking movie with Charlton Heston in it and think about that role where he comes on and replaces the other old guy.
Yes.
The garage, and he's talking about, yeah, I remember the time. I just
good call. Yeah, Wayne's World 2. Good actor. He's really
all right.
Good actor.
No, he was in the first one on the way to the church.
Was it the first one?
Or was that the second one?
No, it was the second one. It was the second one.
Oh, yeah.
The second one. Because he's only credited as good actor.
Is David Warner.
Oh my God.
He was in Tron, Titanic.
Yes. He played the Doctor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, no, he's a good character actor. I like him. Yeah, Tron and all that good stuff.
He was in Penny Dreadful.
Yes, he's in a bit of everything. So, I mean, there are a lot of good actors and good characters in this movie. But like I said, the two main characters that are 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
Only one of them really stands out, Sam Neill.
Yeah, I spent most of this film going, oh my God, I hope Linda Stiles doesn't talk anymore. Like, I felt like
need to pull a Charlton Heston on her. Good actor.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm on her IMDb right now, and she's been in a bunch of stuff.
Tons of shit.
She's still acting today.
But it's like little one-off TV shows.
Yeah, but I don't know why she was the lead. Like, they could have gotten someone better. Right?
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one with that opinion that she was not lead material then.
She was weak. It was weak.
Yeah.
Her performance was weak, whether it was she was having an off movie or what. But thank God Sam Neill was fucking great.
Yes. That man
you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Can you imagine if his portrayal of John Trent was weak as well? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So
movie wouldn't have worked.
No.
No,
it would have, because John Carpenter made it.
Yeah.
But with a movie like that, I mean, you're Sam Neill being the lead actor. I mean, he carries the movie. It's his movie. These are all just secondary characters. If he was weak, then it just, as strong as John Carpenter is as a director, it still wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have worked.
Just gonna put it out there. John Trent played by Kurt Russell. And Anything with John Carpenter
Russell.
and Kurt fucking Russell. You know that. Excellent. Okay, well, moving on just a little bit more then, gentlemen. Let's talk a little bit about the effects and the creatures and the gore, which there's some gore, but surprisingly, this is one of those John Carpenter flicks that it isn't totally in your face with the gore and the blood. There's a lot of his shots, like I'll just point it out there, the axe murder scene with the group of people murdering in the kind of like the vision. It's one of those scenes where you see a group of people and it's all axes and there's blood flying everywhere, but you don't see somebody actually being hacked apart.
There's a few scenes like that, because there's one also near the end in the town where they get Styles.
That's right,
isn't it?
Yes.
You don't really see anything. It's more implied
that she's
than
dead.
anything.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that it's all implied as to and you see kind of like the onset of something happening and then side shots and the setup, but you don't actually see axe going through.
But to me, that works better, and that's just me.
No, yeah.
I would rather see something like that where it leaves it up to my imagination versus actually seeing a lot of that stuff on screen. I mean, yeah, you know what? I like gore just as much as the next person, but sometimes it can get over the top, and I don't need it. And I would rather go with more subtlety.
Yeah,
and I think that's what this movie achieves.
It's a situation.
It's there, but
it's a situational thing. Not every movie needs that. You get a movie like the Guinea Pig movies or the Hostel movies or the Saw movies. You want the gore. You want the effects work. You get a John Carpenter thriller horror movie. You just want a good storyline, which John Carpenter's going to produce for you in good direction.
But don't kid yourself. The gore and the special effects in this movie were fantastic.
K and B.
Yeah, K and B. They did a good job. The creature that was part of Kane's back.
Yeah.
Spitting out coffee here. And all the other vile abominations, they were fucking brilliant.
They were.
Absolutely.
And it's really nice to see a movie that was made when it was, because movies at that time could have been one of two things. A movie relying heavily on practical special effects or CG.
Yeah.
Because it came out at that time in the 90s where, Jurassic Park already came out. Right? So Jurassic Park did come out. When was this? This was 94.
This was 94.
Yeah, Jurassic Park's 93.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you got movies that were really starting to come out with CG, and I'm really happy that John Carpenter didn't go that route, right? And I'm all for CG fixing things or extending things or making the practical effect look more realistic. But I don't think any of that was in this. I think it was straight up all practical effects.
Yeah,
for the most
it looked pretty practical for pretty much everything. But I loved going back to the whole Lovecraftian theme. I loved the look of the elder god type creatures and the tentacles and the smoothness and the little eyes. Right down. Well,
I don't know why I really enjoyed your description there. You were so into the smoothness and the
little eyes.
He was into it.
I was only into it.
He was living it.
And only if you're watching this on YouTube will you know what Tim is talking about. But yes. But also right down to say the creature transformations of some of the people with the little old lady, once again, Bay, who was chopping up her husband with the axe, and she had the big tentacles coming out of her, and she was turned into a creature. Right down to the simple practical effects of when Styles was kind of infected, so to speak, and she was doing that weird spider walk thing with her head turned around. It was awesome looking, and it was beautiful. It was just absolutely beautiful the way that it all was all done. So,
yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot else to add to that. K and B effects, great practical, and just the creatures alone are well worth watching this movie for. So that being said, let's talk about the movie as a whole. final thoughts on the movie. Tim first, go.
I hated it. I'm kidding.
Moving on to David. Tim, you're fired.
No. Okay, so John Carpenter usually gets labeled as like, the master of horror. He's, his movies are horror movies, and a lot of his movies are not horror movies, right?
Yep.
John Carpenter's just a very talented writer-director and is able to kind of switch, I don't want to say styles, but themes and tones and all that, right? Like he can switch it for what the story needs. They Live is nothing like Halloween. That's nothing like The Thing. That's nothing like In the Mouth of Madness. And I know we said this before, John Carpenter just has a style all his own, but he's able to adapt to different types of films. The thing that I really liked about this movie was it was very psychological, it was very intelligent, but it still had kind of jump scares.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? Like, nice?
Nice, yes. The jump, yes. Nice.
I loved the story. I loved the setting. I loved the tone of this movie. I could have done without her in it, or at least a different casting. Like I just said, the special effects and the monster makeup and all that kind of stuff, like all that kind of K&B killed it. I loved the fucking apocalyptic ending.
Yes.
I fucking loved that shit. Like, I loved it. And I don't know, man. Like, John Carpenter, I don't know how many more times I have to say, like, this man is a genius.
Yeah.
Like, he is a true genius. And this is just literally another, like, example of that genius. So.
Absolutely. Dave, quick thoughts.
I love the movie. I think it's a brilliant example of Lovecraft visualized, because Lovecraft is a very difficult author to bring to the screen. It's succeeded in the past, like with Reanimator and From Beyond, but those are few and far between. And I think John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness is another prime example of Lovecraft done right. It's somebody who, you can tell by watching this movie, it's made by somebody who appreciates the source material and wants to do it justice and has a deep appreciation for it. Mm-hmm. That apocalyptic ending, yeah, that totally fucked me over, man. The first time I saw it,
I know.
But he's in the theater,
watching the movie, and
what the fuck is going on?
Laughing his ass off, nonetheless, because he's just mentally
the
gone.
First time I saw that, I'm like, like really? Anyway, I appreciate it more today. It's a movie that gets better, way better, after repeated viewings. You appreciate it more every time you watch it.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to John Carpenter's genius with this movie. Not only John Carpenter, but the writing as well. I mean, John Carpenter didn't write it. It was written by Michael DeLuca, and adapted, obviously directed by John Carpenter. So I think between the two, we can see the genius behind the writing and the vision that was brought to the screen from these men. Yeah, I mean, certainly, if anybody has yet to see In the Mouth of Madness, like, do yourself a favor, go watch it. Seriously, dim the lights and turn up the volume on your TV or your stereo and just indulge and watch this movie because you won't be disappointed.
That's right.
Seriously.
I share all the same sentiments as you guys. The apocalyptic ending is one of my favorite endings from almost any John Carpenter film. I love it, and it is great. Very suiting as well for the fact that John Carpenter considers this to be the third and final in a trilogy that he calls the Apocalypse Trilogy. The Thing, The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and then this movie itself too. So John Carpenter, it's the way that it is. So we got to wrap it up though, guys. So we love this movie. Take an opportunity and go see it. So thank you everybody for joining us for this episode of The Cast from the Coast. Please remember to like, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, join our discussion group. And we would definitely love to invite you guys to check out our Patreon page and toss a little bit in there for some pledges and show us how much
your wallets and your hearts.
And until next time, Dave.
Have a good night, everyone.
Tim.
Stay spooky, everybody.
And have a good night. See you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in this week to They Cast from the Coast. We hope you enjoyed the topic and the discussion that we've had tonight. We're very excited about everything that's being produced right now in conjunction with the Misunderstood Art Company. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, say hi in the comments section, and just in general, check out the other content that's being offered, once again, under the Misunderstood Art Company. If you want to listen just to the audio portion of this show itself, we're making it available on iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn on top of the YouTube channel itself. So thank you very much again for your continued support. Check out the rest of the Misunderstood Art Company's offerings. You might even see some familiar faces. And until next time, take it easy.